is once you get to managers, now how do you manage your team? And so that's going to be the next step after that. And then just to give you a quick little bit of an outline for the call structure is 45 minutes. First 15, 20 minutes, we have a couple topics. So the topics tonight, one topic, Alex has taken on the challenge before the holidays. He's here to do a soulful selling. It's a series, and I'm just going to put this on mute. Sorry, soulful selling series, and we'll talk about that. So she's doing it live, so you could join that, or you can watch the recordings. And then we're going to cover a little bit on 331 and just how important that is for everybody to really kind of get that in your back pocket, really understand that, because it's going to be the foundation of you getting to manager. So just quick introductions. My beautiful wife, Melissa Kithia, we both live down here. Melissa's been teaching yoga for quite a few years and has made the transition from Canada down to Costa Rica and has been working with LifeWave just a little over 3 months now. Alex, who some of you I'm sure already know, has been with the company for about 3.5 years, and she is definitely putting in her time right now. She does this call, plus she does another 2 calls, one on Monday and one on Wednesday right after this call. And it's basically helping people really understand the product from the beginnings to right to all the way to understanding the business. So if you have anybody that is really interested and you don't feel necessarily confident, get them on these calls. This is a really big part, and we'll cover that in 331 tonight. To put people in that funnel and put the people in front of them that really understand the product and understand the business, and just to explain it. And the more that you're on these calls, the more that you'll start to really get it too. So why don't we jump into it? And maybe we'll just start, Alex, just maybe you can just give a kind of a summary of this soulful selling series that you're doing, when you're doing it, and just what the purpose of it is.
Yeah, sure, sure. And I do want to say too, and I so appreciate you actually taking the time to introduce us in the beginning too, because the idea of this call is to plug all your brand new people in, those brand new people in who don't know what to do to get to manager. What is manager? How does that work? To get to know who we are, because we might assume that, oh, we do this every time, we do it every week, and why are we going through this? But it's really important that everyone feels welcome here. This is a new community, and welcome to the new community. So thank you for being here. And also the other thing that you said, and sorry, I'm not trying to shoot you in the foot here. I just want to say that when you get to manager, no, we don't start managing. We keep going.
Yeah.
We actually keep going. We're moving from manager to director. That's what that leadership call will be about, moving to director and beyond, because the last thing we want to do is stop and start managing and pushing people, because we really want to help inspire those people to keep, to kind of find their own wings, plug themselves in, and we want to be there and check in with them, but not actually manage them, because we are all in business together, but for ourselves individually with this type of a model. And that's really what this whole soulful selling is about that I'm teaching, is how do we actually help people become deeply inspired within themselves to build relationships and to invite people in such a natural and organic way by conversation and dialogue, actually helping people to solve their problems. And we can't solve a problem we don't know if they have, or if they don't know they have it, if they're not willing to change it. And this takes relationship, and this takes dialogue, and this takes an exchange of energy. And so it's moving from a goal of, here's what you do to sell, here's what you do to get the sale, here's what you do to invite the person in and just push them along and then manage them, to let me just find out what their needs are. Let me see if there's something to even offer here. Let me build a relationship that doesn't feel icky, that doesn't create rejection and objection, so that they can come in and we can intertwine from the soul rather than from this logical side, the right brain. And then organically invite them in and organically show them what's possible, and then they choose what's a fit for them, and we can help them put those dots together. And that's really what the Soulful Selling series is all about. It's not my original work by any means whatsoever. It's something that I kind of found that I naturally did in having grown up on a therapy couch, as I say, which is the truth. I had a rough childhood. I say this in the beginning of the series. I sat on a couch at 8 years old instead of a playing field, and was asked a lot of questions about what made my life so horrific. Right. And so and they listened, and they opened me up, and I felt so validated, and I felt like I could be heard. And that, in that experience over my childhood years, honestly, it was one of the greatest gifts I ever had. I learned self-inquiry at 8 years old. I learned how to take personal responsibility for the experience of my life. And therefore, looking at other people, I can only see they're responsible for the quality of their own life. I'm curious. And I learned how to ask the same questions that were being asked of me. And so when I learned about this natural selling technique, which I call soulful selling, he calls it that too, but his brand is natural selling. It just clicked. And I thought, oh my gosh, a framework. I love frameworks. My left brain loves frameworks. So I just grabbed hold of it. And this was, I think, written in 2005. And I've been in network marketing since 2004, in and out, but in. And I just realized I got to teach this again, because all the questions that come up inevitably are, I don't want to be rejected. I feel anxious. I don't want to lose my friends. I don't want to sell. I don't want people to receive me that way. And this completely flips the tables on that. So I've been doing these calls. I did one Monday and Tuesday, and I'm doing the first one and the second one. The first one's already recorded and on YouTube. They're all going to be housed within YouTube, and also, I believe, on the website. So I've done the first two already. My next number 3 and 4 are going to be next Monday, Tuesday, 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern. And then my last one will be on the 26th, the day after Christmas. So we'll be done before the end of the year. Then we're just going to be doing the launch lab and the leadership lab from there. So I just want to give you a little context on that. It's just great for anybody, really anybody, to start learning how to really engage with people in a deeper level.
So Alex, can you kind of break it down? I know you're breaking the book down into 4 sections. And so section 1, like
5.
Five parts. Just real quick, what are the key important parts that you see?
You're calling me out a little bit. Give me a second to just pull up the main points, and then I will definitely give those to you just really succinctly. Otherwise, I'm going to be pulling it out of my head. So
I just know people have been tapping into it.
100%, 100%. I just love to give them in the 5 principles straight up.
Sure.
Go ahead. Oh, no, that's not it.
So Melissa, you don't happen to have the link to the first one? Do you have it handy there, that we can just put it in the chat for everybody?
Oh, wouldn't that be handy dandy?
I can find it.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Cool. I'll find it. I'll be able to answer you in a minute. I just can't see it right yet.
Gary and Chelsea both watched the first one and enjoyed it. So
good. Again, it's not my training, so it may not have the same flavor and tonality as I do, but like there's so much content to get through. As best I can, and I certainly try to create a synopsis out of it. So let me see if I can open it.
Yeah, just while we're waiting for Alex just to do that. Thank you, Melissa. So yeah, just so everyone knows, the links in the chat there. If you hadn't watched the series yet that Alex has started, you can just that's episode 1. What was I going to say just before that? Oh yeah, sorry. If anybody else has some questions, just as Alex is just looking for her notes for that, please drop them in the chat here, and we'll definitely get to them. We're just going to do a summary of the course that she has real quick, and then we'll jump into a little 331. And then I know there's a bunch of questions that people are looking to get answered, so we'll jump into those too.
Go ahead and hit up a question. It's not opening for me right now. You realize it's the first day of Mercury retrograde. Just heads up. No wonder.
Okay, I'm gonna dive into a heavy one that we kind of got, and maybe you can look for that at the same time, but it's come up a few times. So is there some supported medical research for X39, and where would we find it? Now we've passed some people on to start X39 now, X39, and we start in X39 now, and they kind of came back and said these aren't full medical research. Do you have any feedback on that, or is there any resources on the specific X39 site of medical research that's been done?
Oh, are you asking me?
Yeah, you
Okay.
this is the one area. I know you're trying to
Right.
do two things
I
at once.
have the actual studies,
Okay.
and it's frustrating
Yeah.
because of the compliance and the changes and stuff. We can only go with what they're putting out. And right now they're shutting it down. And so I can only stick with that. Even the story of X39 had all the reference to all the studies,
Yeah.
which was that long PDF document. And I have that as well. So I feel my hands are a little bit tied on that as well. And I'm not sure how or when that may shift, because I think the best thing we can do is get our hands on the patent.
Yeah.
And because patent straight up says this is what it does, and it brings up GHK copper peptides, and therefore, we can easily put those together. But I just don't know how the story is shifting and molding at this time. I'm not worried about it. I'll be honest. I'm really not worried about it at all, because the product speaks for itself. It's just the message
Mhm.
that's shifting. It's not the product, and
Yeah.
it's not the results and the customers. It's just, I think it's going to refine, because, and here's what I really feel is that because the product does so much more than just activate stem cells, to me, I feel like it got kind of like pigeonholed into that because it's sexy, right? It's stem cells. It's red, it's cutting edge, it's everybody's talking about it. And so that's great. But in a way, we're being pulled back in an organic way to have to say, yeah, but it also does all these other things. I mean, look at the whole totality, look at the quantum realm of what this is doing for the whole body. And yeah, stem cells are part of that. The stem cells are fantastic and wonderful, but without something, all the other structures, what are they for? So in a way, I kind of enjoy the challenge a little bit in trying to change the message. But the research is there, and it's really, it's a good question. It's a good
Mhm.
question. Would I have jumped in with a diamond pack and gone all, gun ho without that research? I don't know.
Mhm.
I think I would have seen the patent. I would have looked at that. I would have looked at the longevity of the company, and of course the industry and all the other things, and tried to put that together. But yeah, that was definitely something I was excited about leaning into. But still, the product was only a year, not even a year old. It was months old
Yeah.
at that time. So
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know if that answers the, but
No,
um,
I think people come from different perspectives, right? Some people come with a very scientific background. Some people come with, intuitive. They just trust their intuition.
right.
And I think the people that Melissa and I have talked to, a few of them have come back. They're just very science based, and they're just like, hey,
Yeah.
I just want some more research. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I think with the changes right now, it's kind of difficult to deliver that. So
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Here's what's happening, just really quick. I've been trying to open this up, but I realized that I had it on slideshow, and so it wouldn't open up because I have the next slideshow open, but I just found it. So if you want me to go through
yeah,
that.
just to finish off that question though.
Finish up.
As far as it now, this has been asked also. Is the product FDA approved?
Um, Food and drug does not, we're not a food or drug. We're actually a class 1 medical device. So
Okay.
we're not regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. We are recognized by the United States as a patented nanotechnology. It is a medical device. So it's just a different classification, but 100% kosher.
Okay. Awesome. So, yeah, why don't we jump into that summary and then we'll
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'll just quickly tell you what the 4 classes are about. So the Soulful Selling series is based on a book by Michael Oliver called How to Sell Network Marketing Without Fear, Anxiety, or Losing Your Friends. Straight up, I signed up for that. And so the 4 main sections are in the first class or the first call, I just have like an opening. I go through the cause of rejection in general. I talk about the 4 principles to eliminate that cause of rejection. And then, oh gosh, let me see if I can see. I don't have them all in a beautiful order here, but let's see what I do next. See, I'll go to the bottom here. And then I go through class 2, right around here. Here we go. And then I go through on the second class, there's 4 main principles. The first principle is helping other people to solve their problems. That's like this goal. So we talk about the power of dialogue, the current reality of that person's life, which is really based in the past. And we're trying to bridge them to a new idea of the future. We can't present the future without bringing their past into the current reality. So there's a bridging that happens there. And it's really, really fascinating to be able to help people to see that so that they may be willing to change, because there's no sale to be made if somebody doesn't recognize they have a problem, or that they're not willing to make a change, or that they're working towards a solution for that. So the second principle is about listening to what's being meant, not just what's being said. So we're learning how to listen effectively, knowing what to listen for, and then preparing our solution to satisfy their needs, not our objectives. So that's the second principle. That'll be on the next call. And then we go into the art of asking questions, which is principle 3. I think I missed one here. I went into the first call, which was a kind of an overview. Let me hold on a second. And then that second one was helping people solve their problems. Okay, yeah, we got this right. And so this third one is all about listening. And let me go into that. Hold on. Da, 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 da. That's principle 1. I apologize. I wasn't ready for this before. Here we go. Yes. Listening to what's being meant, not what's being said. So we will be going into listening effectively, knowing what to listen for, preparing your solution. The fourth call will be principle 3, which is how to ask the right questions at the right time. So this will be all around the art of asking questions. Stage 1, which is the connect. So there's like this discovery process. It's like a 5-stage process that you can almost like lay over and ingrain within your communication style to be able to really, with anybody, just to be able to communicate really beautifully. So the first part is the connecting stage, which is starting effective conversations. Stage 2 is the discovering stage, where we really uncover the meat of what's going on in their current reality. And then we have the transitioning stage. If there's something to offer, we learn how to do that beautifully. That's only 5% of the deal. And then stage 5 is the committing stage. This is all the second, this last, the presenting and committing comes under the feeding back what we think we heard that they want. So that's a different principle there. And then we just wrap it up with that. So there's really these 5 stages and these 4 principles that we go through, and it just creates a beautiful framework. And I'm really hopeful that this is something that's going to be able to kind of flip the tides on this feeling of needing to tell and sell and present. You know, we have the call like after this, which is a full presentation that fire hoses everything about the product, the company, the business, and the industry, or, you know, our compensation plan in the industry. And that's a great overview. Hardly a very first thing. We have to have that conversation to invite the person to that thing. And we need to position that at the right time to the right people who know they have a problem, who are interested in that solution, in order to have them show up to that and then be listening for the pieces for them. But we've already done the groundwork. 90% of it is on the front end in the dialogue. And then they show up and they're like in and excited. If we just like push them in front of the TV and say, watch, it doesn't work. And they might buy on our enthusiasm, but it's not going to last. It's our enthusiasm. And we're going to have to call them over and over and say, did you put your patch on? Did you wear it? Will you stick it on your door or put it on your forehead? Like, we don't want to chase people. We want to inspire them and we want to give them what they're looking for, but that takes some discovery and exploration. So that's what the whole thing is about. And I want people who, like, I would say that there's about 5%, maybe 7% of people who can be really successful in this just because they're influential and they have that natural gift. And the vast majority don't. And it's those 5% that are successful that teach everybody, oh yeah, just go out there and talk. And that's the truth. And, you know, I could say I've fallen into that, but my style is what I'm trying to teach you now. The reason I'm successful is because I naturally had that gift because of that experience in my childhood to listen and to be curious and to be interested in people's stuff. And so as we do that, you know, it can completely transform things because people feel valid and heard and served. So I hope that you get value out of it. So yeah, definitely.
That's perfect.
I feel like this process, I'm so grateful for this, Alex. I did watch the first episode. It's really powerful. But just this whole process and approaching network marketing in this way would just inherently make us better humans as well. So it's just like a win-win all around, because you are actually coming from that place of service, and you're listening and you're dialoguing, and you really genuinely want to help people and care about what they're saying. Like, that's just going to make you a better human being. So appreciate this conversation.
And you hear me say it all the time, but before I thought about the book, I was just like, you have to come from the heart, because people will only receive you the way you are. And if you don't make that switch, and it is honestly, it is a part of our own growth as a person, to get to that level where we do reside more in the heart and more about what's in it for others than what's in it for me. And it's not a judgment, and it's not a judgment at all. It's part of our evolution to move from the head to the heart. And this is such a beautiful avenue to be able to do that, to build community, to make difference in people's lives and in their health and in their wealth. And I mean, that's what I love about this whole model. And so when people poo-poo on it, I'm like, you have no idea. You have no idea what we do. No clue. This is like the best model for people helping people be better people. Period. Hands down.
I agree. Yeah.
Why I've been doing it for 20 years.
And it really, just to reiterate it again, like when you come at it from a different angle of people, not seeing people as dollar signs, but seeing people as human beings that you have a way to connect with and help out, even if nothing happens of it, you truly are, you're going to that person with, in an open way, where you might just get to know them at a deeper level, instead of, maybe they don't buy it, but there's some kind of true connection there, versus them just being this number. And I think that's that whole discovery process. That's the whole discovery process. Who are you? What are you about? What's going on? How can I help you? Right? I just love that. I wish everybody approached me that way. That would be awesome. Right? Could you imagine? Wow. How often does it actually happen? Think about that. How often does somebody actually take that deep interest in you? And and when those people do show up, like, how does that imprint you? How do you feel when you walk away from that person? Like, oh my God, I just met the coolest freaking person who really was like interested. You don't even have to realize that they were interested in you. You just know you felt really good about that interaction. I want to be that person. Every day. That just connects people, Yeah. And that comes back to what you were saying before, though, is really asking people questions. When you're curious about other people, they light up, because not too many people show other people interest. They're just kind of concerned, and they're in their own head, and they're doing their own thing.
Come on, turn them and burn them. Let's get numbers. It's a numbers game. Come on.
I just love that we're a part of this change and this shift that's happening. Like, it's in parallel with what's happening in the world, this like shift in consciousness, and there's this shift in the way that we're doing network marketing. Like, it's really beautiful. It's a beautiful time to actually be a part of this and lead the way, to come from the heart. So just wanted to say that.
Okay. So Alex, thank you for summarizing your course. I know I put you a little bit on the spot there, but this kind of actually really ties in nice what we were wanting to talk about with 331, and just connecting with people, right? Like connecting with people genuinely, but figuring out how you do it for yourself on a daily basis, and what that looks like, using that 331 principle. And, I know some of you on the call, I'm sure, have heard this over and over again, but it really is the foundation of building your business. So maybe Melissa and Alex, you guys can both touch on your different strategies, and then we can just, if there's any questions about it, we can dive into some of those questions too.
Sure.
So Alex, I'll let you start, and then
I'll start with Melissa. I'm gonna toss most of it over to Melissa, because she's really in the trenches right now, and you guys have a lot more exposure to people right now, and I've been a bit tied in house. But in general, first of all, for those of you who are new here that are on your way to the manager position, if you go to build331.com, that is our team website. I'm sure you already know this. And if you go just to step 1, you're going to find the 331 system. And you'll also see there's a video there. There's a number of videos there of Onyx. And then I have also done a training there that goes really in depth about the 331 and the philosophies and the kind of the come from behind it. So I encourage that you watch that. But in general, it's just a matter of consistency, whether it's 331, 222, 5, 5, 10, like, I mean, whatever it is for you, it's a consistency model, but not doing so much that you can't keep up, because you play tag with people quite a bit as we do this follow-up. But the whole concept that I like to teach and that I like to follow is just to know that you're on a journey of discovery with your person, a journey of taking them from wherever they are to wherever they want to go with our solutions and with our relationship. And we don't necessarily know if where they want to go is where they're going to end up, or if that might grow, but it's just a series of exposures that we want to provide for them, and contacts with them in order to kind of move them along this journey. And it's not like that is the intent of it, but in reality, I'm building relationship and I'm engaging them in my own life, in what it is that I do. And if it's somebody that I choose, I want on my team, it's somebody that I really love to play with, I've invited them to be on this journey with me, even if it's, again, just to be on the product and to feel better, which is how it typically starts, is that I'm engaging my time in a relationship. And so the 331 is just a structure to say, I'm going to reach out to, or meet, or have a goal or an intention to connect with 3 new people a day, and either patch them or talk about the product, get the conversation started. And again, it may not get to that point where you're talking about the product on your first conversation, but I'm reaching out to 3 new people a day, or meeting 3 new people a day. That's the first 3. And the second 3 is basically the following up with 3 people a day. Well, I already have 50 people that are in my pipeline of, I say pipeline, they're in the process of this, from being somebody I've just started thinking I'm going to talk to about the product, to somebody who's got massive goals on my team, who's engaged in my team. That's a huge gap between those 2 places, right? And so there's a ton of exposures that can happen, and contacts and people they can meet, and events they can see, and videos and all kinds of things. So I just know I've got this toolbox between YouTube and our website, and 3-way connections, and just my own phone calls, and the product itself, and checking in. There's a toolbox of things that I can set as my intention of my connect, but my intention is to connect with 3 people that are on this journey with me every day, at least, right? And again, that's fun. That is just fun. Once I've gotten the conversation out, and they're either on the product or they're learning about the product, I love those calls. Those follow-up calls are the best, especially once they get on the product. I love when they get on the product, again, because I'm not selling them. They are raising their hand and saying, I'm ready, sign me up. It's fun. It's actually way more fun to get to do those calls. And I'm just saying, hey, are you feeling this? Are you feeling this? And oh my gosh, I'm feeling that. I'm like, who do you know? Who have you talked to? I know you've talked to somebody. Let me help the people you know. I don't know them. And yeah. So, and then I help them to do that. And then I can have the next conversation about the business, perhaps, or, you're doing what I do. Are you interested in having a different conversation? Let's explore maybe if this could be a fit to do what I'm doing, even just a little bit, whatever, do you want to have that conversation? I have 2 of those meetings this week, 2 meetings that are literally to sit down and talk about what is this business about, already on the product, just for a short period of time, enjoying it. And I said, well, let's get together. Let's talk about what I'm doing. It might be a fit for you. It might not, but you're already excited about it and you're getting great results. What do you think? Yes, let's do it. Great. I have another person having great results, and she's already talked to a couple of people. I didn't feel ready to talk about the business per se, but I said, well, do you want to just get together with your friends? I can totally share it with them. She's like, oh my gosh, yes, let's have a wine party. And she's like inviting me over to have a wine party. And I'm like, great, perfect. Not even a peep about the business. She's just naturally wants to share. And that's our next step. So everybody has their next thing. And that's what the second 3 is that follow-up. And that's the fun. And then that one is inviting somebody to a call. This call is somebody who just joined your team and you want to plug them in and have them feel like they can get supported and so on. Or you want to invite them to my next call to learn about the product, industry, business, company and marketing plan, all within like 40 minutes or maybe a little less. I'm getting better. They can get that full exposure. You've pinpointed the things they want, that they're looking for, that are specific to them, but you're also saying, do you know what? I'm so excited that this is going to do these few things for you, and that I want to see how that happens for you. But do you know it does like 50 other things? And I would love for you to know more about the company. Join me on this call. And then you get them onto another call or some sort of an event where they get a bigger picture and they see that there's a community around it and that there's people supporting people. And that is the more of a presentation you're inviting them to. But that's what that one invitation is. And that can take somebody very far on that journey from first time speaking to being really excited about the opportunity, because Onyx Cole can build vision like no one else. Like no one else. And when I plug somebody who I think is going to go crazy, like really work the business, and I don't want to hold them back to my vision of what I think is possible for them. I want to plug them into her, because when Onyx Cole says blah blah blah, blah whatever she says, they're like, okay, sign me up. If she could go to the moon, I can go to the stars. I'm doing it. Or she can go to the stars, I can go to the moon, whatever. Just if I could do a quarter of what she did, I will be free. And that is the power of an event. And that's what that one is all about. So, yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Melissa, do you kind of want to share? And we've been spending quite a bit of time on this. Actually, Melissa just got this big Bristol board for us at home to kind of so we can power our 331 out. But I think for us it kind of happens organically, and we meet so many people, like when we're going for a walk on the beach, and we kind of have a bit of a tag team thing. And maybe you can just talk about your strategy. I know you touch base a lot on social media. I'm a little bit more in person, but why don't you touch on your strategy on social media and what that looks like?
Sure. Yeah, I've touched on this a couple times, but I, as much as I say I'm not going to be on social media anymore, something just keeps pulling me back. And I think also just living a bit more nomadically, social media and the internet has been such a great tool. And I've come to teach myself to learn how to enjoy it, because you can curate your experience. So for me, I am showing up on social media daily. So that's part of my 331. I talk about the patches and LifeWave in some shape or form every day. Sometimes it's through my voice or a picture of the patch or just something. I've actually recently just created an Instagram page specifically for the patch, because I'm like, there's so much I want to say. There's so much great information, and it's actually great for me because I'm digging and learning some new things about LifeWave. So it's just like the next evolution for me. And I love that. It's like that series of exposures I'm sharing every day. And of course, there's days where I'm like, there's nobody really, not every day somebody engages back with me. And sometimes I wonder, what am I doing this for? I'm like, does anybody even really care? But I'm doing it for myself. And then next thing you know, today, I had 2 people reach out to me saying, hey, I'm ready to get the patches. And I'm like, I didn't even know you were interested or curious. So you just never know who is watching your stuff, even when you feel like nothing's happening. So just to be, again, that consistency is so key in everything through 331. If you're doing social media, be consistent and share. And maybe if you're not sharing the patches every day, just share like a meme or a quote or a little bit about your life, just something. So you're seen every day, you're in people's minds, you're planting some beautiful seeds. So the other way that I weave in 331 in the day is really with Erin when we go for walks on the beach and sunset. I know that sounds real cheesy, but it's true. Walks on the beach at sunset. We're out there and we connect with people. We meet a lot of new people pretty often here. And I said this on the last call, but it's so potent. People often ask, so what do you do? Like, how do you live here? What do you do? And that's the perfect opportunity for us. Well, for me, I say, well, okay, yes, I teach yoga. And also I found this amazing wellness product, this patch. Hey, look, I'm wearing it. It's on my back here. I'm wearing it. Do you see this? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, this is something that has been such a game changer in my life. And I've actually become a brand partner and I sell it now. And people are like, well, what is this thing that this is game changer? And there we go. We start chatting, we start conversing. And that's when, you know, if they want to learn more, I say, hey, give me your number, give me your contact, and I'll send you some more information. Or, you know, now I'm really practicing weaving in more of the dialogue that Alex has been talking about. And I've asked now, I've been incorporating. So is there any, I love the word glow up, but you find your own language and your own verbiage. I'm like, is there anywhere in your life that you're looking for a glow up, or anywhere in your life that you need support? So that's been fun to play with. Yeah, in a nutshell. So that's how I've been doing the 331, just weaving it into my day.
I want to say that too. I think those
Yeah.
first liners, those first liners are really important to get the dialogue going. And we will be doing that in the call a bit more. But one of the things when, like, yeah, somebody might be really interested, I'll be like, oh yeah, like check it out, or here's the patch, or I have it right here, or whatever. Like, what is that? You know, and it's really easy to want to go straight to the solution, but then I like to back it up and just say, well, just tell me this. The patch does a ton of stuff, like a ton of stuff. So like if there were one or two, let's just say top 3 things that you could change or improve about your health right now, like what would they be? And then I just throw it right back at them. Oh, well, shit, I got this knee pain. Excuse my language. Oops, I got knee pain. I got this thing. I got that thing. They just start telling you what those things are. So you immediately can say, oh, wow, how long have you had that? You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how has that affected you? Have you found anything to help? You know, are you doing anything to help that? You know, are you still looking for solutions? Now I know what's the problem. How is it affecting them? Are they looking for something else? Are they happy with their solutions right now? Or do I have an opening now? Okay, well, let me now tell you about this patch, because I think it can help you. Because it's not a solution for somebody if they don't connect the dots. We have to help them connect the dots. So that's a perfect segue to example, because yeah, you might be in a place where you can just point at it and they're like, well, tell me about it. And we can just send them to the site and think they're going to be like all in. But again, if we help them connect it, just take just a second to incorporate that dialogue, incorporate a little bit. Well, but yes, of course I will. But tell me first, like, honestly, do you have any stuff going on? Like, tell me what's going on with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how are you able to be here? Do you have stuff that's going on with your health that could be improved? Because this might be a fit. I mean, I don't want to send you information if it's not going to make sense for you. And they appreciate that. They really do. Nobody wants to be sold. So thank you for that. That was a perfect like opening in a way, because we don't all live in Costa Rica and get to have sunset beach walks. You know, we have to find a way to be able to have that hook. They do see it, but like, now how can we turn it? And it's not about controlling the conversation. It's just about opening the conversation and just what's the word? Facilitating the conversation. You know, so I mean, the one who speaks the least is the one who gets the most out of the conversation, at least in terms of, you know, what we're doing, but they're going to walk away feeling cared for and loved. So yeah, so
you
cool.
definitely don't have to be in Costa Rica, because my mom still is called right now. She wore her patch right on her chest, and she went to the gym and went to the hot tub, and she had a hot tub party. People are like, what is that thing you're wearing on your chest?
Right?
So it could be anywhere. I was
One
just
of
the
best
example.
spots.
Yeah, right in the heart. Yeah.
That's where I wear it a lot.
And I tell you, it honestly, I very, very rarely come out and talk about the patch with anybody, because I lead from inquiry. Just, hey, how you doing? What have you been up to? You've been surfing, and just people start to tell me about their lives. Oh man, you know what? I hurt my knee last week, so I'm not surfing. Oh, really? Wow. Melissa just, became a brand partner with this amazing company. And, I do that so it doesn't feel like it's directly at them, even though Melissa and I are doing it together. It's kind of like I have the ability to talk to a lot of people, and she, is very good at explaining the product, much better than me. And I usually just send them over to her, and
You
she
just
can
punt them
explain.
over.
He does. He does. He does
I
all to
literally
me.
do. Yeah.
You
But
gotta love that. You're like, oh,
And I'm like, okay, got it.
But literally, it is all about asking people questions, and they just reveal to you what's going on in their life, and you're just naturally inquiring. And then if there's an opening there that actually feels natural, and you don't ever have to force it. You don't need to force the patch on people. It will
No.
show itself when you just inquire into people's lives. Hey, how you doing? Oh, you know what? I really haven't been sleeping that well lately. Oh,
Yeah.
and then if you feel the space is right, you can talk about the product that you've been using. But it
Yeah.
just, again, even if you just practice talking
Mhm.
to people and just asking them questions, that is a huge step. And that's where there's such a huge opening there for you, just to be not to see people again as a commodity, but to see an opportunity just to check in with them to see how they're doing. And then I think the other big thing is just that simple, coming back to that 331 again, is making that list of people that you think that might be, might need this, and going back to that list. And even if you only do one text a day, hey, was just thinking about you. I started using this product and I really think you'd be like, you would be surprised at how many people just light up on you just connecting with them, wanting to share something that you're really liking. And then when you do chat to them, just genuinely connect with them and see where it goes, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I'll add to that, Erin, is like something that Erin and I have been practicing actually is just also be mindful to not insert the patches too soon. Like just to trust your intuition to know when the right moment is there. Like if someone says something, because I know it's like, oh, the patches, I know they would totally help with that. But like just to like, slow it down and feel into it and just trust your inner nudge and yeah, to not like to just jump on it right away,
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we talk about that in the classes too. And that first glimpse, you could just and even as I was just mentioning with that 331, you might just connect with somebody and not have the opportunity yet to offer it
Yes.
up as a possibility. You
Yeah.
still call that as a one
Yes.
because we're counting numbers and you're a person that is a hashtag or whatever. It's just the consistency, as you were
Yeah.
saying, Melissa. It's that consistent action and just knowing that you're moving the conversation forward, you're moving the relationship into a deeper place, and just waiting to see if there's an opportunity to bring it up, if it's a fit. And yeah, that's just huge. Are there any questions? I can't see. Let me just check.
There are a bunch. I'm just gonna. I know we've only got a few minutes left here, but
Let's go ahead.
Chelsea,
We can go a
yeah,
couple minutes over.
yeah.
That's fine.
Chelsea did ask a question because she wanted to know what the changes are that are happening with the
I wish I
verbiage
could tell you.
with
I wish I could tell you.
X39.
Yeah, so all I know, this is all I know, literally, and this is more of a question for the Facebook group for Onyx, because I'm here training, but I don't have any insider info. My understanding is just that we've had massive growth because the product's amazing, and especially in this last summer, and I think they're taking, because stem cells and the stem cell industry is so going through the roof. It's definitely something that wants to be controlled by those who think they're in control. And so I think we're taking steps to protect the company, to make sure that we're really careful with the verbiage that we're using, that we don't create red flags and a lot more attention than we already have. And that we're really careful with testimonials and things like that, because we don't want to jeopardize this company in any way, shape, or form. So they're taking some forward steps to try to shift the verbiage around a little bit, soften a bit on the stem cell, because the word stem cell is considered a medical term, and we're not supposed to make any medical claims, and therefore we're kind of screwed, even though as far as I'm concerned, it's like saying elbow. Okay, so is that a medical term? My elbow?
Yeah.
But they're going to set their own rules and try to control what they can control. I say they, I don't know who they are, but the powers that think they are. So I wish I had better answers than that, but that's really what I know. And so we're just shifting the conversation. And so we're talking more about energy flow in the body, and what does that do to all of our cells in the body? How does that activate those universal, as I call them, universal pluripotent cells in the body that are what our body uses to heal, regenerate, and rebuild. And so you'll hear this verbiage over and over and over every Monday and Wednesday when I do these calls, which is there for you to listen over and over and over again, invite people to, and start to shift your own verbiage around so that we don't get so hung up on stem cells. We have to let that go as the hook necessarily. We can say what we want to say privately, and person to person. It's just what's in print and what's recorded and things like that we have to be careful. It's not a rule at this point. We're still okay right now, but we're trying to take the shift ahead of time, so it's not like pulling the rug out from under us. We're trying to just slowly make those changes, and you'll see that reflected in your own website. The whole lifewave.com website has shifted as well, but it doesn't change the product, doesn't change the science, it doesn't change the patents or anything. It's just going to change what's available as readily as it was before. And you might need to dig a little bit deeper. But if you can help people to find GHK-Cu, GHK copper peptides, and anything, if they want to look up and they want to find out about their lupus or their whatever disease, then you just say, look, this rises, this tells your body to produce this, and this does everything. And so if you go to your PubMed and you look up this, you will find out what's going to happen when you wear this patch. I mean, if that's what we have to rely on for a little while, then so be it. It's not going to stop me at all. That's for sure. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, perfect. Guys, it's 1:45. I definitely want to
One more question. Let's take one more. Is there another one?
Yeah,
Let's just do it.
Where do we have? Okay. If somebody reaches out via text message or DM asking, how do I buy the patches? How do you respond?
I'm gonna put that on you.
Yeah. That's
Because
too
that more. She gets that more. Yeah.
Sorry, can you ask that one more time?
Yeah. So if someone reaches out via text or DM, how to buy the patches? How do you respond?
If they via text, because I know Alex is more of into the calls where if they ask, how do I buy the patches? I'll say, well, you can get them through me. I can show you how to get them at wholesale pricing. And then if they ask, okay, well, how much are they? For me, I can say, well, I'll usually do voice notes. I love voice notes. However, I think Alex at this point would say, let's hop on a call. There's a bug in Costa Rica. So I'll just say, well, I'll just tell them the different prices, the 3 different options. So I'll talk about the retail pricing. I'll go to the preferred, and then I'll share like the way that I suggest, because it's the best value, is the wholesale pricing. And I'll go into that. And then I'll say, we can also hop on a quick call and I can get you set up with the wholesale pricing. So yeah, I'd be curious to know, Alex, like, what do you do? I don't know if anyone ever texts you, or are you always
I've had people text and say I'm ready to get started, and I'll be and literally I just say, great, when can I call you? And I just get on the phone. I do.
Yeah.
I want to take every possible opportunity to build a relationship. So I get on the phone. Yeah. And I'm planting seeds for the next step. Always, 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 always. I've got my eyes are on the next step already, thinking like brand partner, potential, maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Who does she know? I want to, when I'm placing that wholesale order, I want to plant the seed. You're going to have extra patches. And so I want to, are there people in your household or anybody you're already thinking about? Because I'd love to help you to get the right information to them so that they might want to wear it, because it's so exciting. I can't wait. So I'm always trying to get on the phone to build that relationship and take the next step.
And then when you say you're getting on the phone, are you jumping on a call or Zoom to show them like order the? Okay. No, I take all their information.
Oh yeah.
Over the phone. Okay. Yeah. I know
I literally pick up the phone. We talk.
Yeah.
Old school. I write down their information and I place their order for them. And I tell them, I'm going to write down your information and I'm going to place this order for you. I want to make sure you get exactly what you need and what's right for you. And actually that'll be the invitation on the call is, let's get on the phone. I want to make sure I get what's right, that we set up what's exactly what you want. And that, you know what to expect next. So that kind of thing. So they're going to get value out of the call for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you too. Right. I really appreciate it. And that was a great call. Just to wrap this up. Any other comments from the two of you before we wrap up?
No, I feel great. Yeah, I'm super happy that we do this. I love the free form of this. I just want to say, and if you guys that are on the call, if you're still here, hop into the Facebook group. This is coming right just out of nowhere here. Hop into the Facebook group, make some comments, invite more people to get on these calls, because it's as good as we can, make it. But the more of you that show up and ask questions and so on, really, really makes it that much more alive. We want this call to be for all your new reps to come in and feel supported at this getting started level. And that's why we're doing it. We're just doing it out of the I don't know, just our own teams needing it. And so it's being extended to all of you via Onyx, so we can thank her as well. And we just want to appreciate that you show up. And that's what you can do for us to help us help more. That'd be awesome.
And guys, remember, you can text us or email any questions during the week. And if we don't answer them during the week, just we'll get them answered on this call for you. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Alrighty, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you soon. Yeah, there you go. Bye, everyone.